Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Oshinoko season 2 episode number 3 reaction. So the previous episode we got to see a little bit more of what's going on with the whole scenario with the scriptwriter and the author. The author, I think her name was Samejima. She doesn't really like the fact that the script is going in a completely different direction, and she kind of blames the scriptwriter. Obviously the scriptwriter cannot really do anything in this situation, but like Samejima is pissed, and like she said that change the whole thing, and yeah, and she also said that I don't want to work along with this script writer, and the script writer is sad because obviously he's also a big fan of Samejima's works. All those things are going on, and while all of this is going on, the whole what's it called, the practice, the rehearsals, they are at pause now. And here we get to see Akane say, like, kind of realize that Aqua doesn't really like theater in that way. So Akane is like, all right, so let me take you to a proper, like, theater, and let me show you how good at this it is. So I'm guessing we're going to see that here in today's episode. So let's see episode number 3. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. Oh, nice. Well, you are, someone who doesn't do anything. Hmm. Right. Wow. She's like, she has nothing to say. Miaimon, yeah, the Doraemon. Hmm. Right. Oh, this is. Yeah. Okay, now they can do a little bit of idle work. Oh, well, yeah. Smash Heaven. Right. So this is a drama? No, like a play? Okay. Wind. Oh. Yeah, it's not that, but damn. Yeah, this is like a play, like a theater play. Hmm. Damn, that looks good. 50 times more internet. 50. Ah. I see. Yeah. Okay. We can seamless scene changes. Hmm. Right. Film won't will conceive of. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Like the actual people are performing in front of you. Well, she herself is in theater. That's why. Hmm. Not everything will be like this. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. She's like, it is possible to reach these heights, even though. Wait, it's that. It's him. What's his name? Raita? No. Raida. Oh, really? Hmm. He's probably stressed out with the whole thing that's happening with Tokyo Blade. Oh, yeah, do it again. Hmm. Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's different. Hmm. Like we have to come to a middle ground. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. Hmm. That is true. He only has like he's the only one who has a say in this. Yeah. Yeah. Like they're doing like a whole like chain like system, like it never works like that. Not. Damn, his star is glowing. It's gonna do something. She. Yeah. He's so awkward because of bruh. Well, obviously, because you couldn't act properly. Well, yeah, everyone can have juice. Yeah. Hmm. You just move on. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. That is true. Oh, so they need to like make her yeah, I guess. And she's also like her assistant, Samejimas. So. Hmm. Wow. Damn. Yeah, with the Tokyo Blade. Hmm. Yeah, she was her assistant. Hmm. No. Damn. I see. Hmm. Yeah, damn. Yeah, and that's why she's so like, like doesn't listen to others. Um, okay. Hmm. Oh, right. I see. Oh. Pretty good. Damn. Oh, she already talked to her about it. Oh, because of Kyoma, yeah. And she's also thinking this is the same thing's going to happen here as well if she, Samejima. Right. Mm. Damn. 10 minutes. Yeah. It's natural to feel like that. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, oh, all right. What's that? I'm waiting at the entrance. Okay. Oh. Oh damn. I don't have any assistant. Ooh. She's too meticulous. Last month? Oh my god. So she has 2 hours a day. Yeah. Color pages. Hmm. So why is it so detailed? Yeah, I doubt that. Mm. Oh, yeah. Quality of your work hostage and running away from proper communication. Damn! She she went in that direction. Ah, goddamn. Yeah. Wow. I'm sure it seems frustrating. She's talking. She's like, "Oh, you're too mainstream, man. I'm better in that other department." Yeah, she's saying, "Yeah, tokens." Wow. Well, that was different. Come on, that was not her. Mm. Genius wizard. Damn. Yeah, that is true, but still, super introvert. Well, they originally went there to talk about her, so you know what? You need to go out more. Oh my god, they got delivery. Oh boy. Yeah, but she's monthly. That's the home to stay. Oh, I guess they were weekly before. Okay. Yeah. Well, compromise. I was going to say that. Yeah. No, the final episode, which was the better one. Oh, I see. There you go. Nice. She'll not properly understand now that she'll have first-hand experience what like a theater is. Just like Aqua, she'll also realize rewriting. Okay. All right. That was the episode number no, 3, episode number 3 of season 2. So basically today's episode was okay, just a minute, guys. All right. Yeah. So yeah, today's episode, this was episode number 3 of season 2. Now a few things happened in today's episode. For example, um we see how, yeah, we see how today we Aqua, at first Aqua went to the theater with Akane, and that is where he understood the difference between, like, like a like a, like an anime adaptation, be it like a movie, or the difference between that and a difference with like proper theater. Like, because theater, obviously, it is like a thing where people are actually in front of you doing, acting, and doing the things. So it's very different. It's like, because in the beginning he was like, wait, wind, is it like a 3D, like a 4D kind of experience? But then he realized, like, it's not actually like 4D, but it's like, kind of like that in a way. And he realized, since this is theater, how they do it in a different way. The seatings and everything is different. Everything is different, which made him realize the huge difference between what he envisioned and what is actually happening and how it goes. So obviously, Akane told him that this is like the high-end theater, so you won't get this everywhere. But this is just something to show you what is possible. This is like the top of the top. This is what is possible with like theater. So like he, so basically, like, and obviously it makes sense because obviously not all theaters will be like that, like kind of like that. So she's like, yeah, this doesn't happen everywhere, but this is what is possible with this. At which Aqua realized, like, he kind of re-updated his own impressions on what theater is, and he was like, okay, I can understand now, why you said this is good, and he kind of like praises it a lot. And you can see Akane was like very happy, obviously, because she herself is in theater. And but like, this is something that happens when you like something and you try to introduce it to someone, and if they say something like, oh, this is not good, you become sad. But then when they properly or truly understand the charm of what you try to introduce them to, you become happy yourself, because someone shares the same, I guess you could say, impressions of something that you share. It always makes you happy. And also the fact she herself is in theater, that as well. So yeah, so that was the first thing. And then the other thing that we saw in today's episode was Samejima and Kiyoma's author, I forgot her name, but both of them and their connection, how like they like interact with each other, how good friends they are. And not only that, we get to see Samejima's situation, and the whole like, the thing that she struggled with understanding other people because of her own, like being herself being socially awkward. And she is like goes too much in the critique department. That's why a lot of people who try to like work for her, like as assistants and stuff, they just like stop working for her because she goes too hard on them, and that's the thing. And with one thing is, like, which is very important, that that lady, what's her name, I forgot her name, Samejima's, the Kiyoma's author. One thing she said, which is very important, she said that you're hiring assistants, you're supposed to be the ones who are nurturing them, and kind of like letting them become better, like you're like a mentor to them. You cannot expect them to be like, I don't know, like like top graded, like manga artists or something. If they were like really that talented, they wouldn't be working as assistants. They would, like, probably do their own thing, like probably like go solo, something like that. So the fact that they're assistants, you're supposed to be kind of like training them yourselves as well, making them understand what to do in situation. And she herself said, like, it was the same thing with me as well. I literally instilled and, like, ingrained in you, the entertainment value, what it, how do you entertain the masses. I'm the one who taught you that. You cannot expect your assistants to be similar in skill to you. And that's number one. Number two, obviously, as we can see, she's just too meticulous about everything. And she probably like is so meticulous that the assistants probably get scared off. They probably come and they see how crazy she is about her things, and they get scared off, or they get probably, like, they don't like that the whole sect thing, and they probably just leave. So yeah, that's what has been happening. So she has been drawing for 1 month without any assistant, which would mean, like, 1 month means 4 weeks. That means 4 chapters she dropped without any assistance. She herself has been doing everything. That is crazy. Like, every, like, I'm assuming, like, obviously it's like a, like, it's like a manga, so I'm assuming her every chapter has like at least like 30 to 32 pages, I'm assuming. So 32 pages in 1 week, that means like more than 4 pages you have to complete in one day. It seems quite simple, but it's not, obviously, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that goes into drawing one manga page. Like, you have to, like they do a lot of things. As far as I've seen, they, like, they first draw like a preliminary sketch, then they do like the proper sketch they kind of do, then they, like, like erase the portions, like the rough lines that they have to erase that as well. Then they do the beta, I think that's what they call the beta, which is like filling in. And like a lot of things, like one page, like 4 pages in a day is absolutely insane. And then again, I'm just like making an assumption. I don't know if it's actually 4 pages or even more than that. I'm not even sure. But without any assistance, that is crazy. Like in a day, if you're like sleeping, she's been sleeping for 2 hours, she said, and I'm assuming she takes 1 more hour to eat. I'm sure she's been eating, otherwise she wouldn't be able to survive. So 3 hours. So basically 21 hours she is working. So basically 5 hours for one page. I feel like that's still too short. In my guess, I would be assuming like one page would at least take 8 to 9 hours, in my opinion. With assistance, I guess you could probably bring that down to 5 hours. But she herself has been doing that on her own. So that is absolutely insane the way she's even doing it. She probably just like wakes up, starts drawing, then eats, goes to sleep, and wakes up and starts drawing again. And not only that, she's even more busy with like the color, as they said, they have to she has to oversee the script of the play. She has to do like some color, like that, what she said, something like some color pages is going to come. She has to do that as well. Like, oh lord. That is absolutely insane. So all of those things she's doing on her own. She's just completely, like, and she and like the Kiyama's author, she didn't know that this is going on. She never knew that she doesn't have an assistant. So otherwise, she probably would have come here to help her out way before that. Yeah. Anyways, so then we get the whole clash between her and Samejima, where Samejima is like, oh, first come on my level, then talk about it. And obviously, she wasn't the type of character to just take it. She clapped back. She's like, yeah, like you've got you've become that smarty and that smart, then you're actually saying stuff like this to me who is the one who made you the person that you are now. You're snapping back at me. And I love the fact that she actually brought up the whole thing about like, oh, you're like, like at least my manga is entertaining, unlike yours. Like you're just catering to the audience, what the audience want nowadays. And I feel like that is so hilarious. Because that is literally what happens. So like, most of the mainstream shows, people that like love mainstream shows and all that, most of the time the story is just so basic. It's just that something somehow clicks and it becomes an instant hit. For most of like the top trending mainstream shows, most of them are like that. Like something clicks, like the simplicity or whatever the hell you call it, it clicks and it becomes like a worldwide phenomenon. People love it worldwide and it just becomes crazy. But if you sit down and break it down and properly like critique it and like think about it and everything, you'll understand there's loads and loads of better like manga or anime which is so much better story wise than something that has been worshipped this much. That is so true. And I feel like as she said, as you more and more as you become like a mainstream author, you more and more cater towards the audience's need, like what they want. So your own artistic value or what you want to make, you kind of start compromising on that. And this is the thing, like, and this is one thing I feel like at least authors probably should never do. I guess, and still like like I'm saying like authors should not do, but then again, like I guess you have to listen to the audience as well. But I feel like if you have that amount of willpower and that amount of courage that you're like, no, I don't care what the people are saying, I'm going to do it my way. This is my manga. If they stop reading, they stop reading. It takes a lot of courage to say that and actually do that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't be able to do that. And that's why they start listening to the audience. But that's the thing, like, I started reading this manga, the anime. I started watching the anime because I like the author, what the author brings. If the author starts listening to the freaking audience, it defeats the whole purpose, in my opinion. Like, I'm not here to like read a story which is catering towards the audience, what the audience wants. I want something that the author is making. That's why I've started reading it. I didn't start reading it because the audience are giving input on how to write the thing. And she brings up a point, like, she says that, oh, you paired up those two characters, I forgot their names. Toki or Tok, I forgot her name. Those two characters. She's like, oh, you paired up those two because the audience loves it. What the hell is that? Like, and that was pretty funny. So yeah, it's very I really like that part where she actually says that you're just now like going along with the flow, you know. And then she also tries to clap back. She's like, oh, like what? It was like the whole back and forth was pretty funny. And like I said, I really love the fact that I was 80% expecting what I was expecting the Kiyoma's author to actually not say anything at that point when she said like, oh, like 50 million copies, come to my level and then say. I was actually expecting her to become sad and not say anything and become like a whole like a situation to become extremely awkward and like a misunderstanding and like that type of thing I was expecting. Like I was like 80% expecting that. The fact that she actually immediately clapped back like that and instead of herself getting depressed, she clapped back so hard that Samajima started crying. I love that. That was actually so. I really like that they did it like that. I really love that how she didn't keep quiet and take it. She actually like just retorted back and retorted back so hard that Samajima started crying. Oh my god, that's funny. Because yeah, I was expecting her to not say anything and take everything and be depressed or whatever. Because you can see there was a part of her that did feel a little bit, I guess you could say a little bit, like, what's that word? Like, her confidence was quite low because of the fact that she became this mainstream while she herself cannot really, like go in that level of popularity. Like there was a part you can see that she was feeling a little bit depressed because of that, and she herself said like like it would be wrong to say that I'm not like I don't have any type of feelings about the fact that she became so popular so quickly while I'm just here as a manga artist. Obviously I'll feel something. She herself said that. So because of that, I thought when Samajima said something like that harsh word she said, like, oh, 50 million copies, because of that, I was thinking she's not going to say anything and keep quiet and probably be sad about that. And it's going to bring up a whole ass new drama between these two where, like, I was thinking it was going to go in that direction. No, I'm glad she actually, like, didn't take it and actually retorted back and like did a whole Uno reverse card and made her cry instead. But yeah, she needed that, she needed to and this is what she says, like like compromise. You have to learn to compromise and try to see everything from other people's perspective as well. Like I can understand you being angry at the fact that your creations are being treated in this manner. Anyone would. But you have to also understand the situation from the other people's perspective as well. The script writer, he has his own troubles that he's dealing with, so he's trying his best to compromise and do this. Like everyone's trying their best to compromise and do this and take a middle ground. You're the only one who's not going to that middle ground. You're just staying in your own place. Like everyone's like reaching their hands out towards you, you're not reaching out. Basically that's what's happening. So she's like, compromise. You have to compromise. But it is true. There's a fine balance between proper compromise and actually just doing whatever the other person says. I feel like she herself understands that. The Kiyoma's author, she herself understands that, and that is why she said like and Samajima told her that like I feel like you gave them too much freedom. That's why it happened like that. Your anime adaptation that happened. That is not the story that I wanted to see. Your story is so much better than that, and that's why I'm so frustrated. She said that. Samajima said that, and that is also true. I can agree with that as well. Like just like how Samajima needs to compromise at least a little bit, I feel like Kiyoma's author compromised a bit too much, and that's why it just like that it became a disaster like that. But as she said, I still don't regret it because the ending is like episode completely like completely changed everything. Yeah, obviously the whole series in itself is not good. It wasn't a good adaptation, but still she's glad that like yeah. So that's that, and that is how they came to a compromise. Like Samajima apologized in the end, and yeah, and then now she, like Aqua has sent her the ticket, and now she's going to see and go to the theater and watch it, and probably she'll understand way better and try and will be able to understand everything from the other people's perspective. This is what Aqua said. Aqua said that I'm 100% sure Samejima has no clue about what a theater is and how it works. If she knew about it, she would understand. And also the fact that Goa's the one who did that, who was the scriptwriter of that one as well, that particular theater, like Aqua that went to watch that with Akane, that one, I don't know his name. The fact that Goa was the scriptwriter there as well, was in charge of that as well, shows how talented he is. So Samejima needs to understand. She needs to go and watch it and properly understand and see how it is different from like a manga, and how this can actually work. So there you go, and that is how it ended. So that was great. Let's wait and see how this goes. And yeah, I'm hoping that like Samajang will understand now after going there. We'll see. Okay, and was there anything else? I don't think there was anything else. Anything else worth discussing? No, I think that is it. Yeah, that was today's episode. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene in case I missed something. Okay, in the very first scene, you can see what's her name? Ruby. I forgot her name for a moment. Ruby, wasn't it? Oh my god, I just forget the main character's name. One of the main characters' name. Yeah, it's because we barely see her nowadays. Like it's like, I guess like we saw her in like the previous season, but it's been so long I forgot her name for a moment. Ruby, yeah, Aqua and Ruby. So Ruby is like it's gone to her school, and obviously you can see that her the magazine has like their Bikomachi's whole thing. And she's like, oh, finally, I feel like I'm doing something. I can at least now sit down and talk with you guys about work. Because I felt like I was a nobody up until now. But like her other friends, Frill and the other girl, they're like, oh no, are you still thinking like that? But there you can see they kind of start talking about a few other things, like their own troubles with their work. They start talking about that, and like they're discussing about stuff. This, I think like Frill was talking about like some guy, like some other popular person like asked her for a meal, and she says like like she didn't like it, stuff like that. They were talking about like problems in work and stuff, and Ruby's like, what the hell, I don't have any type of any stories like that to share. Like, what the hell is going on? I thought I'd be able to connect with people if I do something. I'm still not able to. And then she goes to what's her name, Mia something, I forgot her name. She goes to her and she's like, Miyaimon, find me some more jobs. Obviously this is a whole Doraemon reference, right. Anyways, and okay, so Memcho says like, should we do like a collab with Paeon? But they're like, no, unless and until like Arima comes back from the drama, we cannot really do anything. But then immediately Arima comes back, and she says like, oh, like it's the whole situation is like on pause now because of the whole script situation and all that. So there you go. And so Memcho's like, Memcho and like Ruby, they're like, wait, where is Aqua then? Shouldn't he also be here? And Kana's like, god damn it. Actually, and I'm guessing she told them that they went to watch the theater. Now I don't know, I feel like obviously they'll take a little bit while to probably like like get everything ready with the script with Tokyo Blade and all that. So I can see using this opportunity, Kana, because now Kana's back, Kana, Memcho and Ruby to like do another, like, I don't know, concert or like some kind of a idol concert or something. I can see that happening. But I guess it'll depend on how long the break is, because Samejima needs to think and properly talk about the script and all that stuff. But let's wait and see. We'll see. Okay, Now, next we go to Aqua's, like, like, who has gone to the theater with Akane. They're watching the thing, the theater, and you can see Akane is like completely like mind blown after seeing it in front of him. Um, then after that, okay, he talks about, like, like a lot of, like, like, how the whole thing is done, how the whole thing is different, how he didn't expect all of these things. She says, like, how he says how, like, the seating arrangement, this and that, he says, like, it makes it possible to prepare several stages in advance, enabling quick and seamless scene changes. So there's like different stages, and I'm guessing they kind of, like, one scene is done, then they go. And this is one thing Aqua was talking about in the previous video episode. He said something like, oh, the transition seems weird and clunky, but this is so different. He's like, wow, I never knew this is a thing. There's different stages, and that is how it can be smooth. The transition can be smooth. And that's why, like, the seating is done in that way as well, where people can see properly everything, right? And they use physical approach to solve the structural limitation of theater and all that stuff. The direction was chock full of ideas someone from the film world would never conceive of. Moved me so strangely enough. I got into performance acting as well, and Akane is so happy. Akane's like, you see what I told you. Anyways, and she also does say, like, oh, this is one of the most lavishest, like, theaters in Japan. So you cannot expect this from everything, but still, this is like the potential of, theater. Okay, so this guy Raida comes in, and he was also involved with this, and he says, like, you know what, when I get depressed, I look at people leaving the theater, and when I see them happy faces, I myself get a little bit relief. So he was doing the same thing, and he saw these two. That's why he's come to talk to them. And this is where Aqua asks him about, like, the whole, like, Tokyo Blade situation, at which he's like, it's bad, like, Samajima's not listening. She wants to drop Goa from this whole thing as the script writer. So, and this is where Aqua's like, yeah, Samajima's not qualified to make a script because of that. She's a mangaka. She has no idea what theater is. I myself realized after coming here and watching it how different it is. In no way Samajima has any idea what that is about, unless until she herself experiences it. So he says, like, like, we have to do something else about this. And and Raida also says, like, you've seen, like, Goa is also involved with this one. So this thing that amazed you so much, Aqua, this is also done by Goa. Like, he was there, like, in the production. So, this shows how talented he is. And I know myself how talented he is. And Aqua's like, okay, so Aqua does say that, the only person who can do something about this is probably you, Goa-san. Probably you, Raida. So, and then Aqua's like, okay, I myself will try to do something. So, let's see. And while he says that, you can see his eyes are glowing, the star shape, which shows that he's going to do something. Even Akane says here that, at first I was obviously pissed and I wasn't happy about the fact that they changed the, like, plot so much. But obviously I can understand the limitations and how things need to be changed to properly make it into a theater, isk thing. It's a manga, from a manga to theater, there needs to be a lot of compromise in the middle. So yeah. After that, Aqua and his whole friend group, like Akane, like, what's his name? I forgot his name. Melt, yeah. Akane, Melt, Kana, all of them came into, you know what is her name? Kiwama's author? I need, because she's like one of the main supporting characters here. I need to remember her name. Kichijoji Yoriko. Oh, Yoriko. I might be able to remember that. Yoriko. So Yoriko says that you can see she's not happy with Melt because obviously he's oh boy, the whole thing, and okay, so they, like, start talking about, like, how she does all of these, like manga and everything. She can, talks about her job and everything, and they're like drinking, and she's like, oh, like, I hope you guys are, like above drinking age, and they're all like, no. She's like, ah, that's a shame. You all are so young. And then she herself starts drinking, and this is where they bring up the whole like script situation, and yeah, and Aqua says this, like, this is one thing I've heard from one of my like person that I like respect. Uh, like, here we go. Beyond just manga, artists most any creator who's made it big believes their ability is second to none. True, and that's what's happened obviously with Samejima. They stop listening to their editors, become surrounded by brown nosers, grow unreceptive to advice. The only person to listen to those in the same field, and that's why we need Yoriko for to make sure that Samejima listens at least. And yeah, and then they bring the whole thing up with the script and Samejima, and yeah, she says how she's busy with a lot of other things. Obviously, her manga is weekly, so it's even more problematic with the deadlines and stuff. Yeah, and also the fact that she's a bit awkward. She wasn't able to make friends with anyone, but she's very meticulous, and she says, like, she looked at her drawing and she immediately realized what type of person she is. I understood straight away after reading Abiko Sensei's manga. The girl wants to connect with others, but she's unable to, which pains her. So she took her in, as an assistant, like, and then little by little she became more, like, she became more bigger and bigger as a manga author. She became a solo art, mangaka, and now she's just, like, the top mangaka here. Easily went past her, made it big without any setbacks on the way. So it's like she believes her opinions are always correct. Yeah, unless until you fall down, you won't be able to understand the hardships of something. So if you're that good, most of the time you'll always think that you're better than everybody. So yeah, there you go. And she also says, like, editors have two jobs. Number one, obviously, is to make sure that the publicity and everything. No, not publicity. Sorry. What does Aqua say here? Something like wait. Create authors to create manga that they're big sellers. Yeah, that's number one. Obviously, number two, as she says, is basically babysitting. You have to like listen to them. Like basically like just like when they're struggling with something, calm them down, properly tell them, give them advice. Yeah, so basically a babysitter. As a result, popular manga artists get increasingly arrogant, using how busy they are as an excuse. They become prone to erratic behavior. Yeah, so basically, yes men they are. They try to calm down, and you can see Arima kind of being like, "Oh my god, I get you so much," and Melt was also getting affected by those words because both of them has good experience in that. Um, anyways, so yeah, and this is where they're like, "Can you please persuade Abiko Sensei to change the course?" And there we got into a flashback where we see she already talked to her, and Samejima said something like, "Oh, you're too trusting, Sensei." Like that is why that happened to Kyoama. And she said, like, only thing you can believe is in your way. And this is one thing I believe. I feel like the fact that Kyoama flopped that hard, the adaptation, that probably made Samejima even more paranoid. Like, you see how she loves her manga, how much she loves it. So the fact that such a good something that she loves from the bottom of the heart got that trashy adaptation, she didn't like that at all, and that is why she feels like the same thing might happen to her manga. That's why she's even more critical about it, which makes sense. I guess it makes sense because she doesn't want that a repeat of that, and that's why she's like, I'm not going to trust anybody. I'm going to do this how I like. Right, and here this is where she also says that, obviously as a manga author, as a mangaka, I also have my own opinions about the fact that she became so, like, such a big, like, name, and I myself have a little bit of complex about that as well, because she just ended up surpassing me so quickly, you know. But she remembers when Samejima said that, I'll always think you as your mentor, and she's like, I have to be her ally, otherwise there'll be no one beside her. And that's why she's saying, like, I'm sorry, but Abiko Sensei doesn't like having her work tampered with. I can understand how she feels, you know, because yeah, she wants to be her ally in that way. Obviously, after that, there's nothing else to say. But Aqua's like, all right, just give this to Abiko Sensei. There you go. Gives the envelope, and then next, she goes to hand it over to her. But then she goes to her apartment and sees that the whole place is a mess, and this is where she realizes or gets to know that she has fired all the assistants. She's been doing this for 1 month with 2 hours of sleep every day, weekly pumping out volumes before the deadline without any assistant, like not eating properly, not sleeping properly, you know and she's like, okay, let me help you out, like I'll just fill in the backgrounds, I'm sure, I can do that at least. And this is where they start talking, and this is where, like, Yoriko starts going off on her, and she says, like, oh, I feel like you're going a bit too far with this whole thing, like, you need to, properly understand, like, sees the situation from the other people's perspective as well. you know she says the assistants needs to be trained, this and that, and they keep going back and forth. She's like, oh, I don't need someone who cannot do anything or who doesn't listen to me, stuff like that. She says you have to make compromises, and she says, like, if I make compromises, my work will be done for. She also says, like, what would you know? Yuriko says, like, at least I can say this, that you're making a mistake, you're not properly communicating, this and that. It looks like you're blaming everyone else for you not doing well. And she gets angry and she says, save it until you sell 50 million copies. Oh no. Okay, like I said, I expected, because it got established that Yoriko does have a complex about this. I expected her to not say anything, be quiet, and just the whole situation being awkward. Samejima would be very, I guess you could say, feel very guilty for saying that, and it was going to make a whole awkward situation for them. I was expecting it to go in that direction. I love how she didn't take it. I love how she didn't take it. She clapped back. She's like, I see you not holding back anymore. And then she said, after being hit with that, there are hardly any manga artists in the industry today who could level a response. She's exactly saying that what I said. I thought she wouldn't be able to say anything, or she wouldn't say anything. And that's exactly what she says. She says, like, most of the manga artists, if said something like that, they won't be able to give a response. But I am going to. It's truly the ultimate retort. It's true my work doesn't sell as well as yours. And then she's like, but I'm so sorry, but my manga's more entertaining than yours. Yeah, your manga relies completely on your instinct, feels novel, and I'm sure it seems fresh to readers. So she's basically like, your manga's eccentrics. That's why it is attracting so much attention. Once it becomes stale, mine is way more entertaining than you. I have a better understanding of how this goes. And I can kind of agree with that, because she herself says later that I'm the one who drilled the entertainment factor in you. The little bit that you can do the entertainment, it's because of, like, what I told you to do and how I trained you. And and that's what she said, and I think she is kind of correct about this, because the fact that she's so eccentric about it and so, like, meticulous about it is probably something so fresh that people are gathering towards it. But once this keeps going on and it becomes like something normal, people's going to lose interest. And and as she says, you don't have that entertainment value that my manga has, that I've been able to provide. But that's it. On a fundamental level, it's not entertainment. Oh, there it is. The self-professed professional who mistakes plot turns that pander to readers at entertainment. The old way of doing things where a plot full of cliche twists is seen as tried and true. Sure, sounds like Tokyo Blade as of late. Oh my god, Samejima says like, oh, your manga is filled with cliches and tropes. And she's like, yeah, seems like, like the Tokyo Blade nowadays, like what you're popping out now, like, like what you're making nowadays, your one is cliched as well. Ever since you started pandering to the readers in volume 12, it's frankly not being great. What's with the Toki and Tsurugi pairing? There you go. You bowed to was popular with readers and half-heartedly forced it in, didn't you? Is this like the author, like the actual author? I'm not talking about this anime. I'm talking about the actual author of Oshinoko. Is this him literally telling us, like, because they bring up Toki and Tsurugi. I think Tsurugi is Kana, isn't it? Is this him indirectly telling us that the fans want Aqua and a Kana pairing? If that's the case, that is hilarious. He's using this as a plot material to tell us, the audience, what us audience are trying to do and what we are trying to. I don't know, it's just a guess, but I feel like there's a high possibility, the author of Oshinoko is using this as a plot line to tell us his own life experience. Oh boy, the whole pairing situation. Because oh boy, people are crazy about that, like the whole shipping, like, scene. A lot of people ships Aqua with what's her name? Kana. A lot of people ships Aqua with Akane, that whole thing. So yeah. Don't make us such a slipshod manga. And Samujima starts crying. Did I hit the mark? Did Miss Big Shot manga artist waver due to readers' opinion? And this is where she says, I'm the one who drilled into you the entertainment factor. Like, did you forget who drilled the ins and outs of entertainment into you? I can see right through you, okay? Isn't it you who lost your fangs? Letting them do that, have you no pride with the whole Kiyoama situation? She says like nothing makes angrier than hearing that from someone out of the project. Okay. So this continues for a long time, like Samejima again claps back saying like you interested your whole Trivi drama with them too much. And she says like, yeah, I can accept that. I agree with it. I too have a lot of things that I can't do well. I'm also socially awkward. She's like, if you're awkward, what does that make me? It's just like if I don't have manga, I literally would have nothing. I'm just an introvert. And she said like, I heard you in your place you had a whole ass party. I didn't get invited, or like I wasn't there. I cannot get along with people as well as you do. Yeah, and after all of that, after they've completed it, Samejima apologizes, says that I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Like I because I do that, everyone goes away from me. And yeah, and Yoriko says like like it's fine, like I understand you. I'm not that like faint-hearted that I'm just going to run away from you because you said something like that to me. Yeah, and she also says like things were awful at your place on the verge of deadlines too, and she says like it's fine now because it's been monthly. So I'm assuming Kiyoama was weekly before. Okay. So she's like, so I'm way more chill now. Yeah, she apologizes. She says I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. And she says like it's fine, I can take it, but not others. No one else will. They'll just leave, and that's all they'll do. And this is where she says like, how can you like work so well with people, Sensei? And Yoriko says that compromise. That's what you need. You know, you need to compromise at least a little bit. They're compromising, you also have to compromise. But then she also says like, but like I didn't like the fact that uh your manga became like, the adaptation became like that. I hated that sweet today drama. um Sensei's manga is so much better than that. So yeah, I couldn't, like, and it makes sense. Like, she was her biggest fan. That is why she came to become her assistant, and she looked up to her. That's why she wanted herself to be a mangaka. So seeing her beloved manga being treated like this, she was extremely pissed. Obviously, she wasn't happy, and she also felt the fact that the same thing's going to happen to her one as well. Yeah, and in the end, you can see that Yuriko says, I'm still glad that I went ahead with it. And you can see Samijima looking at the final episode of Kyoama and seeing how good it was. And this probably gave her courage to go to the theater to properly see, and experience herself the potential of true theater. That's why she's there. Now she goes there, and that's where it ended. Great episode. Yeah, like I said, the highlight of today's episode is definitely the fact that Yoriko actually just, like she said like, oh, 50 million, like, come to my level before talking. And Yoriko's like, yeah, like, is that how you're going? All right. And she claps back so hard, she makes Samijima cry completely. I'm glad that it didn't go in an awkward situation and became like, oh, like the same old drama, like she didn't want to say that and she's sad about it, and they'll just keep like, like going back and forth, back and forth. I'm glad that they didn't. They just ended that whole thing then and there. Like, she said something, she, like, Yoriko clapped back and immediately shut her down. And there you go. That's how the whole thing ended. And that is it. And I feel like this is such a great, like, like, it shows how obviously Yoriko has a part of her that definitely envies how good of a mangaka Samejima is, but it also shows how she's not as immature that she would take what she said to heart and just, like, become depressed or anything. She knows that, Samejima is going in the wrong direction. So when she said something like that, she capped back and she, like, scolded her, and she said that what you're doing is wrong. Because, in the experience, like, department, she's way experienced than her. So I'm actually glad that that happened, because I was expecting her not to say anything there. And the whole thing to just, like, keep dragging or something like that. But the fact that she said that, and, even though she herself had a complex about it, she was mature about it, and she actually told her that, no, what you're doing is wrong. You shouldn't do that, and scolded her. There you go. And there you go. That was today's episode. Yeah, fantastic episode. Let's wait and see what happens. So thanks for watching. This is my reaction to episode number 3 of Oshinoko Season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed, comment down below. Anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Oshinoko. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.